Hi, there's Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder here with this week's episode of the Market Monday. I think we're going to barely squeeze this out on a Monday, so kudos to me for actually doing a video this week. As you can tell, I've kind of been out of touch with Magic the Gathering, been very busy with the business side of things, so I want to get back to doing more of the YouTube videos, and I did say that I'd check back in on Double Masters when Zendikar is released to see how well the market is faring. So actually, I think the market's faring a little bit better than I predicted. Double Masters is still falling. You can see the average value of a box is now down to 222. That does not keep into account the box topper or some of the other stuff with the boxes. You can see on the what Dongler says is values are calculated assuming cards worth $1 or $1 or less are worthless, and values don't take into account foils or other variants. So the price of your average box is going to be slightly higher than this 222.24. But what I do like about Dongler is it does this running track of how much it was worth a few weeks back. So at the start or the end of September, it was $237.61, and now it's down to $221. But you can see that it started to stabilize off. I think that the stabilization is coming from the fact that people are looking to now buy singles now that the hype of Zendikar has passed, and we have a little bit of a lull, a little bit of break before Commander Legends is coming out, before that buying spree starts happening. But I am assuming the same trajectory that we saw from September 28th all the way to October 18th here on this chart is going to continue when Commander Legends comes out, when people are out of sight, out of mind with the Double Masters cards, and now are looking to get the latest juicy stuff from Commander Legends. This is the problem with Magic the Gathering right now, is it doesn't seem that Wizards is going to let up anytime soon. As soon as Commander Legends is done with, and we have Commander Green, as soon as that's done with, and we have all of the specialty product that has been announced for next year, as well as all the stuff that they're going to throw at us, things like Double Masters, remember, were not announced. Those are something that was just very quickly announced there would be another master set, even though they said there wouldn't be another master set, and the market had to adjust for that Double Masters coming out. So I don't want to say I told you so. I don't want to rub it in everyone's face. We did get a lot of negative comments about Double Masters, saying I didn't know what I was talking about when I said even this wouldn't be the low. This little dip here wouldn't even be the time to invest in Double Masters cards, so it's still a bit inflated. Got a lot of heat from here to here of people saying, see, the market recovered. Well, it was just something that was temporary. It did recover slightly back. We had a little bit of supply issues here. The supply then came back online, and then it has continued to go down. And in fact, the first gains that we've seen is just been in this past few days, down from the low at, it looks like the 1285.2 is the lowest that the set value has been for Double Masters, and is now up to 1293.3, and so that's pretty flat here. But again, I do expect that to continue to go down when Commander Legends comes out, so I'd still give it a month or two before investing in Double Masters cards. I never said the set was bad. I still don't think the set was bad. It was the opposite. It was just that this is too much product in too little time, not enough breathing room from Ultimate Masters to Double Masters, and in the name of the game here with collectibles is supply. You have to give the market enough breathing room to be able to take in all of these new cards, and then allow it to then go up in value, or have enough buyers for those cards before you start and overwhaling even more, printing even more cards that people need to buy. Like what I think Wizards of the Coast needs to realize more than anything is that they can forget Pokemon, they can forget board games, they can forget all these things they think are their competitors, and their own products are their biggest competitors. So they can't just drop on an Ultimate Masters and then drop on a Double Masters like a year later and expect it to fare as well in that time period with not enough breathing room for the cards to go up in value. So we have seen some massive decreases in these cards. Some of these have done a little bit better than I predicted, with Cyclonic Rift and Stoneforge Mystic not hitting that $15 mark, which I said I thought they were going to bottom out as. And some of these other ones like Mana Crypt and Force of Will, I thought were going to hit a little bit harder. I will show the chart. I'll update the chart for the Rogue Market channel. We were taking a look at all the Double Masters prices. I did a rolling, like every week I'd come out with a sheets Google Sheets that I created showcasing the price and compare and contrast from the week before, and gave my predictions. And we'll do an update video for that for the Rogue Market sometime this week, so be looking forward to that. This video, I'm just going to keep it a little bit short and sweet because I've been kind of out of the game. Don't really have a lot to talk about because Magic has kind of been in this sort of weird time period with it's another collectible genre. It's the same thing as other items that have gone crazy through the pandemic with, I really didn't take into account all of the money that's spent on travel that got put into, didn't go into people's savings account, didn't go for other expenses, it went to other leisurely expenses or activities, and collectibles is a big one of them. So instead of those Hawaii trips, that went into Magic the Gathering, and I think we saw a huge boom. It's almost like they got lucky with the pandemic playing out. You think that like organized play being shut down and not having tournaments and all the eyes on Magic would be like a horrible thing. I think it's actually been a good thing for Magic because it's turned a lot of people to collectibles just out of sheer boredom and being able not to do their normal summer activities. So we saw a weird summer season. Usually summer is very, very inactive for Magic the Gathering, and it's usually the fall and into all the way from fall to spring usually is the big quarters for Magic the Gathering, especially that Christmas season and especially the tax return season for Magic. And I think it's because that's when most people are indoors, most people are going to local game stores, there's a lot of eyes on Magic the Gathering, and that is their big time period. Whereas we haven't seen, I think if Wizards is going to come out with sales data, I wouldn't be surprised if this April all the way through now, since we've had these lockdowns, since we had this restrictive on the travels and such, this could be a record profit for or record sales numbers for Wizards of the Coast. So I think when that lays off, I think we're going to see even a little bit more dip in the market just because there was too much stuff. It's a finite amount of money that people can spend on Magic. And I think the Double Masters and Commander Legends, and especially with Zendikar is one of those sets that is once in every 5 years, I would say, that you can do these. So they did it with like Khans of Tarkir, and then now it's time for like Zendikar, where you put the fetches in there, you get these just buying spree out of this set, and then you have to wait again and give that breathing room before you do another one of these sets. You have to have a lot of stinkers in the middle of those for another set to be pumped and dumped like these Zendikars. So that's kind of the problem I've also started to see with Magic is we are starting to see some weak signs with older products. One of my distributors had a Challenger deck and Commander 2019 bundle selling for $410, and that was hundreds of dollars off of the regular distributor price. So it was about $100 off of what their listing price was before they did the special. And so what this shows me is that some of these sets that Magic made, like Challenger decks and Commander decks, are just pitiful compared to these things they've been coming out with. So things of the yesteryears that used to be attractive, that used to sell, no longer can sell, and distributors in Magic are just looking for ways to unload them because they've kind of upped the bar on what people's expectations from a product are. And this is another thing that's very worrisome because it's like a drug. They have to continue to up the dose to get people excited. And I don't know how much more is left in the tank for them to do that. I mean, what more special things can they do than these VIP collector's editions or these, VIP sets with, or throwing fetch lands? That's a huge one. You can't do this in every set and expect people to then be like, to get super excited. So this is one of the things that I have very skeptical with Magic being able to keep sustainable long term. Commander 2019, Commander 2020, I don't think I have it quite on so both the Commander 2019 and the Commander Ikoria, which is, I guess, is that Commander 2020. I don't see the price. They're cut off here on the video, but both of these have been selling pretty terribly as well. Commander 2020 was one of the most hyped commanders for a while. I would say it was way more hyped than Commander 2018 or 2019. Both of those were considered to be not that great products, but now we have Commander 2020 and Commander 2019 being blown out. We have Challenger decks for last year being blown out to the point that I don't know if they're going to be able to do Challenger decks for next year because the sales are so pitiful. We have things like Gideon Spellbooks and Challenger Spellbooks that are doing still very, very poorly. Challenger Spellbooks did awful, just terrible. They were something that people were a little bit lukewarm to the reception of the Chandra spellbooks. I know that many of the other YouTubers rated them as complete failures, and in my opinion, like the spellbooks were fine. They put enough value in them that should have, in any other year, got people excited because there are enough good reprints in them, But I mean, even look at Gideon's. What ended up happening with Signature Spell Gideon is those cards have already been reprinted since the time of printing Signature Spellbook Gideon's, because of just the sheer amount of products that have came out since then, and then had those cards being included in them because they're just good inclusions. And I wouldn't be surprised with Commander Legends to even see more of these cards. They were printed in either Spellbook Gideon or Spellbook Chandra that were included in the Commander Legends. So what I'm trying to say is they've really run out of just reprint equity A, and they're just really guilty of overwhaling. I don't know if people have the money left to, even if they get the excitement up, if they can actually even justify the purchases, because the wallet fatigue will just be too much, too soon for all these things. We haven't let enough time period happen in between all these, must-have sets. And then we have secret layers on top of that, with some of these secret layers that have been planned for the Black Friday to be some of the best secret layers they've ever printed, with some of the most chased cards ever printed out of secret layers. And you can just see that it's just not sustainable, in my opinion, to keep going down this road. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. It'll be interesting, next spring if we're free and clear and able to socialize again and have organized play, to see exactly how the market recovers. In my opinion, I think it actually get worse as people then go to other activities they've been denied for in the last few years. And I think that people have still been able to get their Magic fix, through other outlets like Arena, or still meeting with friends and whatnot. So that's kind of where we stand for the market. Like I said, I usually go on and on with these Market Monday videos. There's not a lot for me to talk about right now before I get my thoughts really in line with any savvy tips or purchases I think that people can make. But again, right now I just think that it's time to be very cautious. I do think there are some goodies. I think these sets in between all this amazing stuff like Zendikar Collector's Editions and Double Masters might fare well long term, like Ikoria or Theros. I actually think Theros might be this set that's going to be the next Rivals of Ixalan, because if you can look at Rivals of Ixalan, that set just went crazy. If you lived during Rivals of Ixalan, this was probably the worst received set since like Shadows of Innistrad, or probably even before that. There wasn't a set that people got less excited for than Rivals of Ixalan. It was the dumpster fire of a set. Ixalan was received pretty poorly, but Rivals of Ixalan was received, out of all the sets, even worse than Amonkhet and Hour Devastation. This is just a big lull during Magic the Gathering. And all of these sets have fared very well, because I doubt these ever even got what we call second wave of printing. They just had their original first massive wave, and that was enough supply to actually get them all the way through their standard life time before they rotated out, and then Wizards does not do additional waves. So it wouldn't be surprising if these were, well, maybe if it wasn't just first wave, maybe there was a second wave, but there definitely wasn't the massive amount of waves that something like Dominaria or War of the Spark received. And so I'm thinking that long term, the Theros Beyond Death might be exactly this, because this was another set that just had horrible sales. So that's really the only thing else is going on this interesting. We'll keep an eye on the spoilers for Commander Legends. I think it's just going to be just another knockout of the park set. You can already see there's some pretty pricey cards here with like Xenagos, God of Rebels is a chase card. We have the Vampiric Tutor that I saw earlier. You got Vampiric Tutor. You can't get really more of a chase card than a card like Vampiric Tutor to sell the sets. And there also was some other goodies in the form of these, completing the cycle of these multiple opponent lands that were very popular from Battle Bond, and you have some really good staples in the form of like the Command Tower, Command Sphere that are actually now going to be in sets, as well as like Mana Confluence and some new cards like Sengir the Dark Baron that should have some pretty decent popularity for people who want to crack these. But all in all, this mana base right now is enough to sell the set, and it's going to be another thing that is going to take more. It's gonna whale some more, and that's my caution for Wizards of the Coast is, when is it time to turn that valve off and tone things back? But like I said, I think it's a drug. I think they need to keep up those numbers, and it can't last. It absolutely can't last. They're gonna have to do triple masters next year. They're gonna have to do, and then double masters looks pathetic. I mean, still look at this. Can you put more a higher octane of cards in a master set? I think Ultimate Masters had better cards on average, but Double Masters had double the cards. And I think if you actually add up the amount of like good cards from Double Masters, you probably do get a better, value if we're just comparing pack versus pack. On the Ultimate Masters, a little bit cheaper per pack than Double Masters, but how do they top it? How do they top Zendikar? And look at just the poor sales. Right now we have a Zendikar Rising where they've just kind of priced people out of wanting to buy anything but the collector's packs. I mean, look how pitiful draft booster boxes are. That they do have a topper in them, though. That's like the saving grace for the Zendikar Rising draft boosters. They do have the topper. But think of things like theme boosters that don't have the topper. Or now like bundles. Like, how in the world are they going to continue to sell these products when they have these things that are just clearly better products to buy? And that's my cautionary tale for Wizards of the Coast. So again, just going to keep this one short and sweet for the Market Monday. You can check out my Rogue Market channel for the update on the Double Masters. There are some, like I said, some goodies to start investing in. I've soft invested in a lot of the Commander staples from Double Masters. So I think what's the one I want the... I'm not really going deep on anything right now as far as speculation is concerned. I think that's one of the reasons I've been a little less active, well, very inactive with both this channel and the Rogue Market channel, is I'm actually trying to free up equity, not invest this time period. We're trying to move buildings for my local game store. We also have some other expenses that have come up. So it's the time that we're actually, selling more than actually buying. And so there hasn't been a lot, talking about throwing money at cards. But Double Master is something I have dipped my toe back into with things like the Austere Command. I've sank a pretty penny in speccing into those. Card Sphere is still your go-to place, in my opinion, to grab cheap cards. It's still a buyer's market. I'll have to do an update on Card Sphere on how it still is just a very, very good service if you're looking to get. I still don't know how people sell on CardSphere. I know the ecosystem needs both people, and it's I should be trying to promote it for people to actually sell cards on there. But it definitely is just a buyer's markets where you can get things at 40% of TCG market value, no problem. If you're looking for some of the lower end cards between the price range of anything from like a quarter up to $4, it is just buyer's heaven for those type of cards. And with the seller actually paying for the shipping, it's even it's still the cherry on top for that. So we'll do an update video with my CardSphere experience, as well as some of the things that have been going on. So I'm going to be trying to revive other type of videos on this channel as well. We'll get some Commander videos made. It got some sweet Commanders I've been building. I've been having fun with Commander, so I haven't quit Magic the Gathering. Regardless of what other people have said, I have stepped back a bit. I definitely got frustrated with Magic Arena and competitive with the inability for Wizards of the Coast to balance the format, and it just even seems now that they ban a card and then there's another boogeyman the next day, because the layers of just poor design run incredibly deep with competitive play. But I still do have fun, theorizing about Magic, looking at spoilers, stuff like that. The biggest thing is just time. As other aspects of my life have become more successful, these YouTube videos have taken more of a backseat. But I don't want it to neglect them too much, because I do want to keep this ball rolling. So be looking forward to those. Maybe we'll brew in the future on this channel. Again, the other channels we do want to revive as well, with the most exciting one being kind of the Gun Rogue game channel, which is just kind of my dump channel. So anything that I'm kind of working on at the moment, if we're opening up any product, just shooting the breeze there, definitely check out my Gun Rogue games channel. If we do move buildings, we'll have more space, and if with more space I can get a dedicated actual place to put down a permanent studio where the lighting doesn't need to be moved around, where it's just ready to shoot. That's one of the biggest tasks right now for shooting videos, is just like, okay, now I got to get this all moved and this all put here, and then it's board game and a Warhammer night, we got to move everything again. And it's just, if we do move buildings and have more space, that will be just a godsend to be able to just click record and be ready to stream or ready to go. So anyway, wishful thinking for that. Cross your fingers that we can make that work. Yep. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. No, it was short and sweet, and we'll get back to the swing of things here for the holiday season. This has been Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.